Good morning, fellow mortals. Last week we discussed the consonants, and now we'll learn the vowels. Just like English, we have 5 different written vowels, but that doesn't mean we only pronounce 5 vowels. Also in English, just the letter A can have 8 till 9 pronunciations. Apple, bath, cake, salt, watch, agree, beverage, typically. Dutch isn't that unpredictable, but it is still an evolved Germanic language, so it has a lot of vowels. If you haven't seen my lesson about the consonants yet, then please watch that video first. Since we have discussed the consonants in my previous lesson, we will be able to make words now, in order to practice your pronunciation. Vowels can be pronounced long and short. Let's start with the letter E. This letter actually has 3 different ways to be pronounced: long, A, short, E, and suppressed, E. Here you have a few English approximations. The long vowels are spelled as double letters, except if there's one consonant between 2 vowels, because then the first vowel is long, even if it's written with 1 letter. The first vowel mustn't be the E for that to happen. I'll give some examples soon. Here you'll see a few Dutch words with their IPA characters underneath them. For example, in the word leven, the first E is long because there's only 1 consonant between the first and the last E. In the second word there's a double consonant, hence the first E is short, so it is pronounced lekker. Another thing to note, if a word ends with n, then the N is dropped by a lot, if not most speakers. But there's also speakers who wish to keep the N. I'll drop them in this video. So, let's practice with these words. In leven, the L is at the start of the syllable, so it's liquid L. And the V is in between 2 vowels, so it is pronounced as an actual V. The first vowel is long because there's only 1 consonant between this and the next vowel. And the N may be dropped because this word ends with n. So pronounce it leven. In lekker, it's the same thing with the L as in the last word. The consonant is double, so the first E is short. And the R is an English R, because it's at the end of a syllable, so it's pronounced lekker. Can you guess the pronunciation of the next words? Leren. Rekenen. In leren, the R is at the beginning of a syllable, so it's a French R. In rekenen, the last 2 vowels are suppressed, so the E cannot be long. Let's move on to the O's. The long O is O, and the short O is O. A few words are boot, lopen, bot, and kom. The long A is a bit tricky though, for English doesn't have an equivalent. It's like the A, but you have to open your mouth wider. A. A lot of other languages have this A as well, like French, German, Swedish, Spanish, and a lot more. So if you speak any of them, then this won't be difficult. The short A is A. Words to practice with are raar, laten, dak, and brak. The long U is U. This is another sound that exists in many other languages, but not in English. If you don't know a language that has this sound, then you should try to pronounce an E and then around your lips. E. The short one is similar to the suppressed E. Some words with these sounds are vuur, huren, hut, and rug. The short I is pronounced I, like in the word vis and ik. We don't have a long I. Well, we do, but it isn't written as 2 I's next to each other. Which brings me to the next part of this video, false diphthongs. We have two vowels that are written as diphthongs but are pronounced as a basic vowel. First, the long I, which is spelled I-E. It is pronounced like the English E, but actually pronounced shorter. Riet and wiek are a few words with the long I. The next and last false diphthong is the OE, which is pronounced as OE, like in cook and book. Now, let's move on to the real diphthongs. The OU and AU are pronounced the same. Ow. So you'll have to learn which one to use for every single word. AU is also used to scream when you have pain. Ow! Out is a word with OU. The EI and IJ are very iconic to Dutch. They are pronounced I, which is a diphthong of E and I. A lot of learners are deceived by the IJ, since you'd think that the J is a consonant. Well, it isn't, so you'll have to get used to it. Just like with ow, you'll have to learn which one to use in every single word. Some are eik, kei, for EI, and fijn and rijk for IJ. Let's move on to the UI. It is pronounced ui, which is a diphthong of a and u. EU is a less extreme version of it, eu, which is a diphthong of e and u. A lot of learners think of Wingardium Leviosa when they try to learn the eu.
Besides, you're saying it wrong. It's Leviosa, not Leviosa.
I may not totally agree with the statement that this is a perfect eu, but I understand the resemblance. Words with eu are neus and keus, and words with ui are huis and kluis. There are two kinds of vowel patterns I still want to discuss in this video. The first of them is an extra I after a vowel. Then it is pronounced I. For example, hi, hoi, knoei, and hoi. The other pattern is a W added after a vowel. This is pronounced like you. Some examples are as follows: eeuw, uw, vrouw, and klauw. Please do note that in addition to having to learn whether an ow sound is spelled AU or OU, you'll also have to learn whether you have to add a W after it, because they all sound the same. I hope you've all learned from this, and that I didn't bore you too much. See you all next week.